We focus on the people and the process. The secret is not a secret. Clear communication about roles and responsibilities.
Thank you for joining us. Let's start with the basics if we can. Tell me a little bit about Velocity for those who are not in the know. Give me the elevator pitch and also how the partnership with Jaggaer works.
Absolutely. So Velocity Procurement, we are a procurement consulting company. We focus primarily on procurement and finance. We do many different areas of procurement. We do the advisory work. We focus heavily on digital transformation, which is part of the reason why we are a Jaggaer partner. We also have a staffing and managed services side of the organization.
So talking about the partnership, how do the two of you interact? How do you benefit each other?
Sure. The way that we interact with Jaggaer specifically is from a solution implementer perspective. So we help Jaggaer's clients implement their solution. We help support that solution once it's implemented and continuous improvement after that. We also help in a number of different ways, as I just mentioned, around advisory and those ancillary services that aren't specifically related to the software. That's the part where we provide a lot of value to the partnership. You know, our focus is on procurement, our focus is on finance specifically. While we enjoy the software, that's not our primary focus. So we focus on the people and the process. The technology doesn't take care of itself, so to speak, but it takes care of itself from the perspective of, Jaggaer building a great product and everything to that extent. So we help our clients really improve their time to value and things of that nature based on focusing on the people and the process and fitting the technology into that.
Well, you mentioned clients, so let's dig into that for a second. Mm-hmm. I'd love a good case study, a good example of how this works in the real world, that partnership and the benefits it's brought to a particular client.
Sure, absolutely. We work across many verticals. So we are not specific to any particular vertical or market. We do work a lot with biopharmaceutical companies, with manufacturing companies, with higher ed. A recent example I would give you is within the biopharmaceutical space. You have a lot of organizations that they're pre-revenue and they're building and they're maturing and their growth can be exponential very quickly. They need platforms that can help them grow and help them sustain that growth. We have worked with a number of organizations, but most recently, we're working with an organization to implement the procurement piece of the software, get all of their spend across catalogs, implement contract management tools so that they have the ability to automate a lot of those signatures that they need. It's small teams, small offices, so it's not the case that they have the resources to go and do all of these things, automate it through the tool. So from that perspective, we help them very quickly realize value within the tool and then help scale that with the organization.
The area of implementation I always think is absolutely critical. You can have the most wonderful new platform, new digital toy, whatever you want to call it. But if you're not using it properly and getting the best from it, you may as well not have it half the time. Yeah. How do you accelerate that process between the arrival of the new technology, such as Jaggaer that you're working with, to actually getting the benefits at the other end of that pipeline? Is there a secret to it?
The secret is not a secret. It's change management and really understanding what it takes to implement the solution across the organization to realize those benefits. It's not just, okay, you have this new shiny tool, you need to know what buttons to push. It's not just that. It is also, where do I access the data? What do I do with the data now that I have all the data in the same place? What's coming tomorrow? We have this new shiny tool. Now I have all this access to the data and the capabilities that brings to my organization. But what's next? What's happening next? You have change within every organization, change in people, change in technologies. How do you stay ahead of that? And again, it's the change management piece. When we start an engagement with a prospect, one of the first things that we talked about is the change management piece of it. How are you going to facilitate all this change within the organization? And the organizations that understand that and can realize that either we have a solid plan for it or we don't and we need help, those are the organizations that really see a benefit of a new shiny tool. But the organizations that don't fully understand the change just look at it as new shiny tool, new buttons, new software for us to, work within. They're missing most of the, equation there in terms of value.
Let's take a quick look at the partnership ecosystem here. Mm-hmm. This is sort of a triangle between Jaggaer, yourselves, and the client or the customer. Yeah. How do you get the best from that ecosystem, from that triangular partnership, if you like?
Yeah.
How do you get the best so all parties benefit, I suppose? Is there a secret to that at all?
It's, again, maybe not a secret, but it's open communication. Understanding who is not just responsible for what, but who is going to help the most in what areas. A lot of times we need Jaggaer to support from an application back-end perspective, and we know, our clients know very clearly this is going to be worked out by Jaggaer. We're all going to talk, we're all going to communicate, again, that clear communication, but this is something that Jaggaer owns and Jaggaer's going to take the lead on. Whereas the people, the process side of things, the configuration of the tool, that's our side of it. And we talk through that, and the client understands that from a open and clear communication perspective. And then from the client side of things, their responsibility is really execution. So we can give them all the advice in the world, and Jaggaer can make the application as strong and robust as they possibly can. But without the execution on the client side, access to the data, training of their people, those sorts of things. So clear communication about roles and responsibilities.